What's up guys, C2113 here, and in today's video we're going to be unboxing the MAXOAK Bluetti AC20 200 watt hour solar generator. Alright guys, so here's the box. Now this thing is available for $219 on Amazon right now. I'll definitely leave the link in the description if you're interested in checking it out. The reason I'm getting this thing is to give myself a little supplemental power in the event of a power outage, to be able to bring some power indoors when I don't want to run my generator at night in the instance of a power outage that lasts more than a day. Because as much as my generator is an inverter generator and isn't super loud, I still don't want to have to babysit it, and I don't want to have to worry about someone stealing it because it's got to be outside. And so it's nicer to be able to charge up something like this during the day and then come in at night. In addition, I use a CPAP when I go to sleep. I do have sleep apnea, so having something like this to power my CPAP is going to be great in an instance, in a situation where there is a power outage. So anyway, with that being said, let's just go over some of the brief stuff on the outside, tell you about the unit, and then we'll go ahead and open it up. The model number is AC20, and this is the 200 watt hour unit. Now, if you look at the side here, it obviously talks about the cell type that it uses and how many watt hours it is. It gives you different specifications of the charge times, like how long it's going to take in solar versus the AC adapter, and some of the other basic stuff like your inverter output. Now your inverter is capable of 120 watt continuous output, and then I think it can surge up to 200. And this thing it's actually incorrect here. It's saying that it's got one USB port. It actually has two USB ports. One is a standard USB port and the other is a quick charge 3.0 port. And you also got a Type-C power delivery port, and you've got your standard 12 volt output port. However, I will tell you right now, in case you're wondering, this thing isn't regulated, so it's going to drop in voltage below a usable 12 volt level after about 80%. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So go ahead. And the maximum input power for this unit is going to be 60 watts from solar. So that's part of the reason why the solar output, the solar charge time is shorter than the AC adapter charge time, because the AC adapter, I think it tops out at like 30 watts, whereas solar, in theory, is going to be able to give you up to 60 watts. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and open this thing up. And, it looks like the box is a little broken here. That's not a problem, as long as the product inside is okay, and it does seem okay, as you can see here. It is well packaged, held in place very nicely. We'll move that out of the way, and we've got our instruction manual here. Put that over there, and then we've got our box of adapters, I'm assuming, and that's it. So let's take the unit out first. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see that. On the back side, you've got your power input and your AC output. And on the front, you got your standard USB, your quick charge 3.0, and your 12 volt port, as well as your USB-C port. You got your display and your 3 buttons for power, DC, and AC. Got a nice strap on the top here, as you can see. It's a double strap, as you can see there. And the case is made from anodized aluminum. So definitely, I mean, honestly, the fit and finish on this unit seems to be much higher than any of the other units in this price and size range. Now, I will say, full disclosure, that I haven't had any personal experience with any of the other ones, but purely based on appearance alone, this one already does seem a cut above the rest. Now, let's just look at briefly what's in here, which I expect to just be the AC adapter. Okay, actually, there's more stuff than I thought in here. Hold on, guys. So we've got our car adapter. Now, I do know from doing a little bit of research on this unit beforehand that this is only going to be able to charge the unit up to about 40 or 50%. Because of the input voltage required to charge this unit, it's not going to be able to charge up all the way on car power alone. So, but that's a downside, I suppose, but at least you can charge it at least somewhat. This is one half of your AC adapter, I think. Yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, there's your AC adapter, and that's the other half of it. And then you've got a barrel plug adapter. So I guess for CPAP machines, if you've got the cable you need, you just plug this into your DC power port, and then the other end gives you the output for a CPAP. And then you've got just a USB-C to USB-C cable, which is useful, I guess. And then you have your standard 12-volt cigarette lighter port adapter. So you can turn that 12-volt output into a cigarette lighter port for any of your 12-volt accessories. Now, like I said before, the 12-volt port on this is not regulated. So you're really going to struggle to get any useful power out of this after it drops below 80%. But let's go ahead and briefly see if it's got any power. Here's a display. And oh wow, this thing's fully charged. So, I mean, the one thing that I will say right off the bat that is a little frustrating is that the charge indicator is not a numeric percentage value. And instead, it's only represented by this sort of graphic with 5 different bars in it. And realistically, that severely limits the accuracy of being able to read exactly how much power you've got. But let's test it out. Let's turn on a DC power here. And you can see when we turn on DC power, the DC ports all light up. And then AC power also on, but nothing really lights up in the back, as you can see here, just standard. Now, the thing I do like about this is that you have output wattage indicators for both DC and AC separate, and you have a wattage indicator for input. So you can really get a good idea of how much power is coming in and how much is going out. And another bonus feature, speaking of that, is that this does have pass-through capability. So you can go ahead and plug this in to the wall and then plug in another device and still sip power off the device in that way. And of course, if your input power exceeds your power draw, then you actually get a net gain and you'll charge your battery. And if there is more power being drawn than is being input, then you will drain your battery, but certainly the input power will help to slow that drain. And so one of the things that I could see myself using this for is in a situation where I think that the power might go out, I might be able to extend my runtime on a CPAP by plugging this into the wall and then plugging my CPAP into it. And even if I'm using the humidifier and draining a lot of power, if I'm plugged into the wall, it won't kick off and fully start draining the battery until the power actually fails. And so if it doesn't, it'll extend my runtime significantly. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and test out a few things. We're going to try charging a couple phones here. I've got this Umidigi Z2 Pro here, which uses USB-C. And I've got my iPhone 7 Plus here. So we'll go ahead and test these out. Now, even though the Umidigi has Quick Charge, it isn't Quick Charge 3.0 Qualcomm certified. So I doubt this is actually going to quick charge the device, but we'll still see if it'll give us anything. Nah, it's just charging, as you can see. It doesn't say charging rapidly, but that's all right. It's still charging the battery. Then we'll go ahead and plug into this port here to charge the iPhone. Let's take a look. And as you can see, it is charging as well. And just to give you guys an idea as well about that DC port, let me go ahead and grab the adapter. And then I'll go ahead and get my multimeter on this as well. And I'll give you a readout exactly what kind of voltage we're seeing on here. Alright guys, I got my multimeter here. So let's go ahead and get a read on exactly what we're getting for voltage. So right now, being that it's fully charged, we're getting a reading of 12.4 volts. Now, I'm sure once this drops down, it will go down. I'm not the first to report that this has got an unregulated 12-volt port, but at 100% or close to it, you should be okay. But I wager to guess it would drop down pretty steeply if at 100% or near it, it's only at 12.4 volts. So that's an unfortunate thing again, but being that this is an adapted port and not a standard built-in cigarette lighter port, it isn't as big a focus for me. And I didn't plan on using this a whole bunch either. So next, I think we should try the Type-C and the AC adapter. So I've got the Type-C port down here. We'll go ahead and swap over to this different cable, plug in the Umidigi, and as you can see, it's charging just fine. Last thing we want to try is our AC inverter. So let's flip this thing around, and for a super simple AC load, let's go ahead and plug in this desk fan. So we'll plug that in and we'll switch it on. I don't know if you guys can see and or hear that, but this thing is working just fine and it's blowing air. And if we look at the display, it should tell us exactly how much we're drawing. So sure enough, we're drawing 11 watts. So not a huge load at all, but it is, again, so nice to have that digital readout here, giving us good indicator of exactly how much power we're drawing. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. This is just an unboxing video, so I don't want to make this any longer than it needs to be, but definitely I will be doing a full review as soon as I can. I don't want to rush it, but I also won't drag my feet on this, so as soon as I can, I will give you guys a review. But anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to give me a like. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experiences with this thing, and you have one of these and you have this in your daily rotation, or maybe you are a van dweller or somebody who lives on the go, on the road, and uses this in a completely different fashion than I might plan on using it, you charge this up with a solar panel, which is something that I probably won't end up doing. Let me know in the comments, because I want to know your own experiences with this, your pros, your cons. If you've run into any issues, I definitely want to know, and I think everybody wants to know. And if you want to see that future review and you want to see more videos like this, definitely get subscribed.